Hi, Tony.
Well, we thought it fitting that it all started at a trade show, and so we thought we'd do this video from a trade show.
So here we are in Milan, finalizing the initial line for Ross and Snow, looking at leathers, components, shearlings.
And it's been a really exciting journey since '99, working with you on Zappos, and so here we are, excited about working with you in a different capacity on this project.
So we're looking forward to the next 15 years, 16 years, as much as we have the last 16.
And we're keeping our eyes open for a kick-ass fur
shearling
neon jacket. All right, Tony.
All right, Tony. Thanks for everything.
Yep.
So of course, every time I'm asked to film one of these videos, I'm traveling. I'm currently in Paris, and the reason why I love Tony and how he's affected my life is that over the last 15 years that I've known him and been led by him, I have felt empowered. I'm very passionate about what I do for the company, and I can't imagine working anywhere else. It's a very work hard, play hard environment where you're always on the go, but you love what you do, so you don't mind working and playing and having life experiences where there is no difference between work and play. And I've enjoyed it all. I've been offered a lot of money to go other places, but it's like Disneyland here, and I can't imagine working anywhere else, so you're stuck with me, Tony. Cheers.
Hi, my name's Millie, and the first time I worked with Tony was 18 years ago. And in those 18 years, I've worked with Tony in 3 different organizations at different times, and I've changed my life multiple times for those jobs, moving and switching roles. And I think why I really appreciate Tony is that he has always provided such a unique perspective to me and stretched me into thinking differently, as well as in every organization. I think it's a privilege to work with someone that thinks everything is a possibility, and everyone should dream and dream big. That is probably my favorite thing about working with Tony, and the part that I think is irreplaceable.
So when I was first asked to do this tribute, my first thought was, oh my gosh, this is gonna make Tony so uncomfortable. So I thought, what am I gonna talk about? And I thought it best to talk about every time Tony has made me feel uncomfortable, which there have been many. But I think one of our favorite stories is many, many years ago. So I go back 13 years now with you, Tony. You asked me to accept the Asian Man of the Year award on your behalf at an Asian mixer. 2 things I think the audience should know is I'm not Asian and I'm not a man. But I went, and it was awkward. They wanted me to dance down a 50-foot aisle to accept the Asian Man of the Year award, and I did it. I did it for you. There was another time you asked me to go speak to Spanish-speaking press about childhood obesity, and I looked at you and I said, no, I don't speak Spanish, so I don't know what you want me to do. But you, in 13 years, I think the one thing that I've learned from you is that we should always push ourselves to be a little bit uncomfortable, and I've really learned to embrace that. And I think over the years, every time I'm feeling comfortable, I come to you and I say, I think I'm a little too comfortable. I want to be pushed out of my comfort zone a little bit, and if it scares me, then then maybe I'm on to the right thing. And I think throughout my career here at Zappos, you've done that quite a bit. I remember years ago walking by 2280, and you asked me if I wanted to start doing speaking engagements, and I thought you were out of your mind, but I said yes, and I've probably done over 50 speaking engagements since. It's taken me all over the country, all over the world. There's one thing I've learned from you as well, is that I should value experiences over everything else, and since I've known you, I think most of my greatest experiences have been either with you or because of you, and I can't tell you how much you've changed my life, how much you've changed my daughter's life, my family's life. You are such a part of my day-to-day and such a part of my career and my family. So I love you, Tony Hsieh, and I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for me, for Zappos, and I don't think most people have any idea how hard you work and how much you worry about every single employee. I've been with you after the layoffs, and we've talked about how that affected the company and you personally. I was texting with you at 2 in the morning after the Vegas shooting, and I know how much you care about every single Zapponian, and I'm just grateful to have been on this journey with you and to have worked under your leadership. So thank you.
I got hit by a car. I was in a terrible motorcycle accident, and I'm literally home for a couple of weeks. And here I am, like literally can't move. Having help putting on my clothes, and this huge box comes, and it's just super personal to say that we're thinking about you, and get well and all of that. So it was a huge moment for me at the time because obviously. Whatever, hard time, physically, emotionally, whatever, and then just the fact that the company would do that and go out of their way. Nobody does that. It's not normal. It's an expectation at Zappos that people should care about you, but it's just not a realistic thing out in the world.
It's not similar, but the emotion and the feeling is the same. It's just missing the friends, the daily interaction, and then just feeling like home and family. Missed that from the moment I left. Kept in touch with many people, and you just feel like there's a loss. It's really heartbroken, really, to be honest. And that void could not be filled with things that I was experiencing. And it was a good experience, but it was not the true day-to-day interaction that I think we all cherish. And to return is it's surreal. It's awesome. It's really emotional. It was great, and it's really good. It's good to see this guy. Everyone.
Well, talking about the future of Zappos, Tony was talking about 2010 and what the company would accomplish. And one of those things was seeing $1 billion, with a B, $1 billion in sales, and also making the Forbes top 100 companies to work for. And you have to remember at the time, we probably had 60, 70 people working. Sales weren't nowhere near that much per day, so it was a pretty wildly ambitious goals to put out there. And I remember at the time thinking, yeah, we aren't really anything right now. We're just kind of a typical small company. No way we're making that. But I think it speaks to Tony's belief and his ambition in the company and Zappos.
So Tony makes me uncomfortable, but in the best possible way, and you'll probably hear it in other stories too. Tony challenges the company and everybody to just be their best, and he does a lot of things and has ideas that can be challenging to comprehend and challenging to accomplish some of those goals. But for me, that's one of the endearing qualities about him, is that he challenges you to be a better version of yourself, and that's what makes Zappos such a special place. Is you want to contribute to the best of your abilities, but you're not allowed to really get comfortable. And I think for the 13 years that I've worked here, I've had a great time, but I don't think I've ever particularly felt super comfortable for long periods of time. And that's something that I really admire in him, that he wants to create this awesome environment for employees and structure this environment so that we can succeed, but also in a way where we don't find ourselves getting too comfortable.
How many Zappos t-shirts does Tony own? Number 2, 3 p.m., 3 a.m. Why is Tony always on his email? Number 3, Fernet, kind of nasty. Why do you like it?
So I grew up in a small town, about 1,600 people. Didn't really know much about the internet up until about 16 years ago when I started at Zappos, and got the call to move out here to Vegas and decided to come out, give it a try, and I'm really happy that I did. Thank you. Cheers.
One thing I've always admired about Tony is his keen fashion sense, and over the past 13 years, I've tried to live up to his example. Here's to you, Tony.
So in 1999, I worked at Nordstrom and got this phone call that Fred Moser was leaving Nordstrom for this internet company that no one's heard of. So for the next 2 or 3 years, Fred was trying to recruit me, and I was like, I can't sell shoes on the internet. And so finally he said, well, why don't you meet with our CEO and see what we're all about. So I met with Tony, and he just seemed like a smart guy. He had everything together, and he really sold me. So that was in 2003. So Fred might have brought me to the dance, but I went home with Tony that night. And many years later, we celebrated Tony's 40th birthday. And to get into the party, you had to get a pixel to represent the pixel of life. So every day I take a shower, I think of Tony. Here's to you, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Cheers.
Well, one, there were women that worked at the company when we were in San Francisco, and Eileen was not able to make it tonight. But I do want to comment on, thank goodness our company is more diverse than just the group that you saw tonight. All very fine gentlemen, and I love them very much, but I also am glad that it's not just a bunch of dudes. Yeah, thanks.